What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 10 shocking statistics about British people. The video we are going to watch here today actually describes this as the strangest, most unexpected, most inexplicable facts and statistics about British people. So that is a lot of hype. That is a lot of buildup. And somehow I still don't even quite understand what I'm about to learn here today. But I feel like that's actually part of the fun of it. So let's take a look. 10 shocking, crazy statistics about British people.
Number 10, teetotal. Yes, we drink tea, but 165 million cups a day? Now that's surprising.
Hold up. Hold up. 165 million cups. What is the population of Britain? Okay, the population of the UK is 67 million, and there are 165 million cups of tea drank per day in the UK. That's like every single last person in the UK is basically drinking 2 to 3 cups of tea a day. Is that true? I feel like not every single person can even be doing that on average. So some people are drinking 1 or 0. And then some Brits out there, or a lot of Brits out there, are drinking like 4 or 5 a day? Or is I'd love to know the actual distribution of how many cups of tea Brits are drinking a day. I know Brits love tea, but everyone drinking on average 2 or 3 cups a day. I guess that's probably like how much coffee Americans drink a day. I guess it's kind of similar if I think about it like that, but wow.
Would you like a cup of tea, mate?
You could have sworn the plumber you had round sunk that all by himself in a day. If there was any doubt about Brits and their reputation of guzzling back tea like
Right.
it's going out of fashion, which it has in many places, these figures confirm it.
Yes.
The eye-opening fact was revealed in the book 8 out of 10 Brits by Charlie Crocker.
What is this book? Like tea statistics on like dedicated to the UK? 8 out of 10 Brits. Intriguing statistics about the world's 79th largest nation. Wow. There's a whole book about crazy British statistics. Ha!
The current population of the UK is closing in on 67 million, which means the average Brit is getting through more than 2 cups a day.
Yeah.
Would you like a cup of tea too, mate?
You know, from my understanding, I thought that and I have a very basic, very ignorant understanding of this, but I thought most Brits had like maybe a tea time during the day, like one cup a day, and it's kind of a routine or something, kind of like most Americans have a cup of coffee in the morning, something like that. But the stats don't lie. It's at least 2 to 3, I imagine, at different points throughout the day. That completely changes how often I thought Brits kind of sit down for a cup of tea. Wow.
Mate,
Number 9, shampoo nicking. Sure, the Germans might claim the sun chairs, but we've been busy nicking the hotel shampoo.
Wait, am I understanding this correctly? We're talking about shampoo stealing? Shampoo nicking? Brits, what are you doing out there? Stealing all the shampoo? Why? From like hotels and stuff? Or what is the statistic here even? What is this?
Over 1 million litres a year, pet.
That is 182 bottles of body lotion.
Assuming these aren't all taken by one singular clean hair-obsessed hotel regular, this
Right.
stat spells out that there are quite a lot of hardened criminals among us. You might even say we're head and shoulders above other nations at theft. Is
Did they say 1 million liters a year? Yeah, and if you divide that up by the population of the UK, every British person is stealing like a little bit of shampoo every year. But I don't actually feel like it works that way. Like they said, this is an average. So there's just a couple bad eggs, couple bad Brits stealing like so much shampoo. I guess, and the average is, it kind of averages out, and it's still funny though.
Retail shampoo that expensive? Or is the relatively risk-free opportunity to take a freebie just too irresistible?
Although I think they're saying, no matter how you cut it, on average, Brits steal more shampoo than other parts of the world. You could view this as a bad thing in terms of theft, but also it kind of shows how much Brits really prioritize hair care. This can be a good thing. Stealing, bad. Hair care, self-welfare, self-health, hair health. This is a good thing to focus on. Maybe not perform criminal activities for it, but there you go.
At least we're hygienic, mind. Why not grab a soap too? Just spare a thought for the Hiltons and the like. This can't be good for their bottom line.
I think you made your point.
What?
Number 8, trust issues.
Okay.
83% of British people don't trust the UK government.
83% of UK people don't trust the British government. Without becoming too political here, I feel like it's a good thing to have a healthy skepticism and almost, like a distrust of your government institutions, just to be questioning, the people in power. That's healthy. That's not even a bad thing. I would imagine, man, what percent of Americans don't trust our government? I feel like that's been steadily increasing as time goes on. Trust in government and media and stuff. But 83% is a pretty surprisingly large amount, even given all that.
This was such a serious offence of lying by a very senior politician over such a major issue.
Business Insider uncovered the stat with data gathered from various research and survey organisations.
Wow.
So it's a figure you can trust. Or actually, can you? Former CIA contract...
Has there been there's a lot of British political activity and British scandals or whatever that I don't really hear about or understand. Maybe that has contributed to this massive percentage of distrust in the British government, I suppose.
Turned whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed we're living in Orwellian times.
Right.
And that government intelligence agencies could be watching you at any time.
Yeah.
An act not uncommon in the UK. Those
Wow.
WMDs still haven't been found in Iraq. Britain still isn't out of debt. But what's not to trust, right?
Well, it's not my fault if they've misinterpreted something that I said I never understood.
But you know what? Enough about that. Anyone could be listening after all.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory of living in the future. We all have computers, we all have cell phones, cell phone companies, and not to get too conspiratorial here, but you are walking around in day-to-day life with a literal GPS device on you, your cell phone, at all times. Not that you're always being spied on, but the facts are that we live in a day and age where it's possible now. And there have been people like Edward Snowden to uncover things about the United States where, they're not supposed to be looking at stuff like that, but seems like they are in certain circumstances. And yeah, I think a healthy distrust or healthy questioning of institutions of power is good. It's a good thing. It doesn't have to be a negative thing.
Number 7, clucking madness. There are many more chickens in the UK than there are people. But which came first? The chicken overpopulation or the human overpopulation?
There's more chickens than people in the UK. Are there more? This just makes me wonder how many chickens are in the United States. Are there more? There are probably not more chickens than people in the US, over 300 million chickens here. The UK population is smaller. So this becomes popular, and this becomes possible. I don't know if it's popular or not, but possible. Maybe a little scary once you figure out you're not the dominant species on your country anymore.
That is the question. Thank heavens they don't ride the tubes during rush hour. Of course,
What?
with so many KFCs, chicken cottages, Morley's, and other such restaurants in the UK, the demand is certainly high.
Right. I was just about to say, is this because chicken is is it very, very popular in the UK, chicken in particular? That there needs to be at least one chicken per person at all times, basically. Americans, like, love chicken as well. I imagine the stats are pretty similar on this one, actually. I'm actually intrigued.
And then you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs.
Omelets,
Though with
right?
such vast numbers, the
Eggs.
chicken revolution could be imminent.
Those chickens are up to something.
That's what I was saying. Maybe we need to be, like, afraid of the chicken to human proportion going on. Do we need to be afraid of this?
Watch out, Colonel. Your tyranny is nearly at an end. Well, unless they're too chicken for it. Number 6, beaching out. It's
Okay.
commonly accepted that nowhere in the UK is more than 112 kilometers from the sea, although there is some debate.
Is that true? Wait, is that true? Nowhere in the UK are you more than 160?
Nowhere in the UK is more than 112 kilometers from the
112, much less. 112 kilometers. That is not far at all. Is that like an hour's drive, an hour and a half drive, hour drive or something? You know, if you're going pretty fast. That's amazing. I always forget how massive the United States is. I don't even think about attempting to like visit the beach or something. Because for the vast majority of states, we're not like on the coast. But in the UK, it's much smaller. And you can just, it reminds me of how I forget people in the UK can like drive around the whole country like in a pretty reasonable amount of time. And you can visit other countries pretty quickly. It's just a whole different way of thinking than we do here in the United States. Because it takes forever here in the US to even get to another state across the country or something. So that's really cool, actually. That sounds really nice.
sea, although there is some debate that says it's a bit higher at 135 kilometers.
Okay.
And this highlights what a wee island we are.
Yeah.
But with sea levels rising, this is probably not a stat the Brits want to hear.
Oh,
How deep is the ocean?
I'm not going to say.
I'm broken-hearted.
Also, you'd wonder
Oh.
why Brighton seems the only option for Londoners in the summer. Surely there's an alternative beach that actually has some sand. But
I don't even think about the British, how much British UK coastline there is. I mean, it's literally an island, so, but there must be so much beach. For some reason, I don't think of beaches when I think of the UK, and I don't know why that is.
being so close to the sea also justifies still having a navy. It can only be a matter of time until the Kraken rises from the ocean depths or the Atlantean army storm the surface to teach us land dwellers a lesson.
Today we unite our kingdoms.
Oh, wow.
Number 5, ghosts versus God. Some
Okay.
42% of Britons believe in ghosts, which is notably higher than the 38% that believe in God.
Thought of going
Really? That is 42% of Brits believe in ghosts, but only 38% believe in God. That's really interesting. And also, I think very, very different demographic than here in the US. I think the US is one of the more religious, fairly religious countries, you know. I would think that's closer to 50% or 60%. No, that believe in God? Oh, probably like 80% or something. Actually, very different than the UK, actually, when I think about it. But the whole believing in ghosts thing, I don't know. It is kind of more fun. Like, it's fun in a way to believe in ghosts. I don't know. And I don't even know how to think about this, because if you believe in ghosts, don't you kind of believe in an afterlife? Don't you sort of believe in a god or afterlife? Isn't that a prerequisite for believing in a ghost? Or forget it. I don't need to ruin this whole the fun of this whole thing by overthinking about it.
in a church. A church. Makes me nervous to say the word.
Seemingly gone are the days of the entire population believing in a holy creator.
Right.
Pesky science. However, modern understanding of reality still hasn't deterred faith in ghouls and spirits to the same extent as religion, it seems. To be fair, The
belief in ghouls and spirits remains higher than the belief in religion. I guess they are slightly different. Slightly different. Belief in a religion is more specific. You're believing this very particular ideology. Whereas believing in just the existence of spirits or ghosts, that's more general, more easy to be like, yeah, I kind of believe in spiritualism. And so this actually is making a little more sense to me now.
Ghosts would probably be more inclined to give you a fright for laughs than God would be. A ghost-filled but godless world also begs the question, without God, is there no heaven? That would mean ghosts are doomed to wander an earthly limbo for eternity.
Right.
Frightening.
Paul Ball had a nasty fall.
Yeah, maybe it's just a lot of people who believe in ghosts, but not necessarily an afterlife or a particular god. Okay.
And he was frightened by the ghost of his former employer.
Number 4, serial invaders.
You fought your first action. That's everyone.
Serial invader. I'm actually not sure what that means.
Feel like this afterwards? How do you feel? Sick.
If you cover all of its history, the British Empire has invaded all but 22 countries in the world.
Oh. Britain is a serial invader. Not like a serial chocolate eater, or serial killer. It's a serial invader. As in Britain is obsessed with invading places, or at least, like the old British Empire and all that. That's right. I have learned a little bit about British history, and it is pretty mind-boggling. Did they just say they've conquered every country except for 22 of them on the planet?
The British Empire has invaded all but 22 countries in the world. At its peak, redcoats dominated over more landmass than the Mongol, Russian, Roman, or any other empire you can think of.
Wow.
Emperor Palpatine.
For some reason, that's not really emphasized enough here in the United States when we're learning in our little childhood geography and history classes. I don't remember it being so substantially taught to me, like just how incredibly big and far-reaching the British Empire was. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But either way.
While today the US conquers other regions ostensibly in the name of democracy, the Queen's loyal troops did so in the name of spreading Christianity, allegedly.
Right.
Nothing to do with mining and profiteering off foreign resources, honest. Perhaps it's best we haven't figured out interstellar travel just yet. Number 3.
This narrator. So sarcastic. Britain would try to conquer the rest of the galaxy if it could, huh? Okay. Number 3, accent on diversity. I'm not sure what that means either.
Accent on diversity.
The East End, you say? I wonder what it's like these days.
British accents change, like every 40 kilometres or so.
Oh.
Scottish, Northern Irish, Welsh, Geordie, Scouse, Manc, Brummie, to name a few, are just some of the numerous accents you would encounter if you did a complete tour of the UK.
Right. In the United States, I can relate to this a little bit, depending on what region or certain states or certain cities you go to in the US. They're known for having different accents, but it's nowhere near the level or diversity of accents that are kind of famous in Britain. I never realized how many accents there are, because most Americans, myself included, always default to like this one standard British accent that's like, hello there, how you doing? Like, I don't even know what that accent is, or if I sound crazy right now, but it's just like the standard, probably over-exaggerated accent, whereas there are just, apparently, like even within London, you can travel different blocks or streets and end up with people speaking in different accents.
What I reckon is that if they had themselves proper jobs, they wouldn't be up to all this, larking every night.
What?
You'll even find contrasting accents in the same counties at times. For instance, an East London accent can vary from a Southern one.
Yeah. See, that kind of thing doesn't exist in the United States, where if you're in like one county or one city, it's not going to be a bunch of different accents. That is very uniquely British.
What class you're born into can even influence your accent, of course. Danny Dyer hardly sounds much like Prince William, for example.
Yes.
So
That's a really interesting idea as well. The idea that your social class determines your accent. I've heard of like the posh accent. Like Queen Elizabeth had a certain accent that's different than what the garbage man, what hit the mailman, their accent, you know? And that's a really interesting sort of concept that doesn't exist here in America, though.
even if you're visiting Britain from an English-speaking country, you may find yourself lost in translation.
True.
Number 2, dressed to kill. 6,000 Brits a year are killed or injured due to their trousers.
Hell's teeth!
Due to their pants, or what we call pants, trousers. In Britain, it's trousers. Killed? Killed or injured by trousers. 6,000. How? Why? What?
But I'm not aroused, it's only cars, god damn these electric sex bands.
It's survival of the skinny fittest, as UK residents' clothes are turning against them. Whether it's from falling over their own legwear or tripping down a flight of stairs whilst trying to adjust them, the wrong trousers can be hazardous or even deadly.
People are wearing trousers that are too, like, tight? Or that it's what, cutting off circulation to their legs? Or are they too loose and they're tripping over them and falling down a flight of stairs? I guess there's probably a lot of way to die from trouser. I never thought about that before. This must happen in the United States as well.
Now, let me out of these trousers this minute.
There's a reason flares didn't last beyond the 70s and 80s, so be wary when purchasing your next pair of jeans, tracksuit bottoms, or dungarees. They may just be the last pair you ever wear. Short shorts, anyone?
6,000 people are hurt or die from trousers? That's like when you hear about shark attacks. Like, oh, there's 500 people that still die every year from shark attacks? Wow. But this is on a whole nother level. Trousers? Trousers. Just another thing to add to my list of fears. That's great.
Number 1, full of beans.
Ah, the beans. At number 10 was tea, which makes sense to make an appearance in this. And now we've come full circle to the beans. How many beans do Brits eat? I imagine quite a lot compared to the rest of the world, especially America.
Brits really do love their baked beans. By the numbers, we in Blighty eat twice as many servings than our continental peers.
Baked beans. Baked beans.
That's right, forget all that talk of government spying and past and present corrupt empires.
Okay.
We finally reached the real hard-hitting subject matter.
Right.
We might have even discovered the real reason for air pollution in the UK. Let the Germans have their big Frankfurters and France their yachts.
I just caught that. The reason for air pollution in the UK. Beans. Bean ingestion. And letting it out later on, you could say. So how much beans does Britain eat compared to the rest of the world? I'm still not very clear on this.
Sticks of bread. We've already got ourselves a mouthful of beans, thanks.
Beans. Everyone likes beans.
I can't serve baked beans.
Beans are pasta sauce.
And bring on any pending apocalypse.
Well, at the beginning they said some statistic. I didn't understand it really.
Really do love their baked beans. By the numbers, we in Blighty eat twice as many servings than our continental peers.
Blighty. What does blighty mean? I don't know what blighty means. Blighty? Blighty is a British English slang for Great Britain or England. Oh, really? What? How have I never heard of this? What? How have I never heard of this? It can also mean your home or native land. Blighty literally means Great Britain. Now, oh my gosh, that's why I didn't understand this at the beginning. All right, okay, what? I did not know that. Huh, a slang term. Well, now I'm kind of hip and cool now that I know this cool slang. I'm just gonna say blighty.
As we in Blighty eat twice as many servings than our continental peers.
There you go. Okay, so in Great Britain, twice as... That does not shock me. I'm still laughing because it's a little funny, but I'm not shocked. I was expecting this. Twice as many beans as, like other people in Europe, by the sound of it. That... Okay, got it.
I can't serve baked beans.
Beans are pasta sauce.
And bring on any pending apocalypse. There's no shortage of canned food for our survival shelters here. Do you agree?
Wow, I didn't really know what to expect from this. Since this was just crazy, shocking, unbelievable, but true British statistics. But I really enjoyed this. Not knowing what to expect made it kind of more fun with what they chose to teach us about today. This was by WatchMojo UK, and I gotta give it a like. Some of this stuff, the amount of tea, lack of trust in the government, all the chickens, beaches, that was a cool one. How close you are to a beach at all times in the UK. I never thought about that. More people believe in ghosts than God. Britain invades like no other. Accents, that's interesting. All the accents. Death by trousers. And beans. Beans, I'm glad that was on the list because it just confirms my suspicions that Brits are just stuffed full of tea and beans. And this confirmed it, along with a lot of other actually really, really interesting sort of bizarre stuff about Britain, but bizarre in the best way possible. It's fascinating and just kind of highlighted some of the differences between the US and Britain, which was really, really interesting. I enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.